We'll just start out. You can introduce yourself,
All right.
state your name and your diagnosis. And you can look directly at me or the camera. It's
And
really
a little
fine.
both, okay. My name is Mark, Art for Recovery. My diagnosis was in May 2022. I was first noticed I had a lump on my left breast, and fortunate enough to be accepted at UCSF, and we also discovered at the same time I was diagnosed with stage 4 prostate cancer. So it got a little complicated.
Yeah, and Mark, this wasn't your first experience with cancer. Do you want to share a little
Yeah.
bit about your history with cancer?
Yeah, so it's interesting. Rebecca's the one who discovered the lump on my on my left breast, and she said, "Hey, you have a lump on your breast," and right away, instantly, I knew that it was breast cancer because my mother was diagnosed with breast cancer in her early 40s. My sister had breast cancer 3 times the first time at age 38, and virtually all of my family, cousins, close blood relatives were diagnosed with cancer. So I didn't have the reaction that maybe others might, because I just knew that's part of my family heritage.
It's a lot of loss
That
to
is.
have to deal with in one lifetime. I'm actually curious, since you had to deal with all that loss
Mhm.
and grief, what your relationship with grief was like, is like, having gone through all of that, losing all these people.
Um, Well, what happened more, there's 2 phases to that, I imagine. The good part out of all of it is that I decided that I had to approach my treatment from a different perspective, a different approach than everyone else in my family, because what they decided to do to work with the physicians and their own stressors wasn't working. So I had that benefit of learning from family history. The trauma, of course, was there, and the most difficult thing I always have had since I was young is first walking into a hospital, and I always ask whenever I come into the UCS, for example, and they do my blood pressure check, I ask them to do it twice, because the first time they check my blood pressure, it's sky high, because I'm thinking about all the family members that I lost. And then the second time around, the blood pressure check, and it's normal. So yeah, there's always a lot of emotional thoughts that go through of everyone that I've lost in my family, and my mother, my father, my sister at, I feel, fairly young ages.
Is your practice of writing a part of that grieving or processing the grief and the loss?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I have my journal is called Cancer, 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 Can't We Talk About Something Else? And sometimes I wonder, hey, Mark, why aren't you talking about something else more frequently? There are many of these journal entries are to let go and love and appreciate my family members and what they went through, and journaling about it is, I feel, very, very healthy for me.
What is your first memory of journaling? Like, as a kid, as a teen?
Well, that's the funny part. I was definitely a left-brain child. Math, science, engineering, and I never journaled until I was diagnosed with cancer. So there was a lot of material that was in my mind that hadn't been expressed yet. So that's one of the wonderful parts about my journey that I've been through, is that it opened up a part of who I am that I didn't realize had a lot to say.
Was it just like one day you picked up a pen and you just started writing, or you started typing? I'm just so curious.
Well, early on, when I was first diagnosed and I was down at was visiting UCSF, and they discovered that they're dealing with 2 cancers at one time, and in my phone on my chart I had 22 different oncologists on my phone, and I said to myself, there's no way I can keep track of any of this. I need to start create a diary and just think about what I'm going through, so otherwise I'm going to be lost. It'll become overwhelming. That's just too much to internalize. Let's put it on paper. Let's write about what happened at my most recent visit and how am I feeling. So that's how it started. It was too overwhelming not to write.
Wow. Almost like you came at it also from the left brain of like, logically, you're like, I can't deal with this, I have to just do this. But
Right.
Then I'm curious, what did it turn into, or how did it evolve for you, your writing? Because your work is very beautiful. It's very like, I thought Mark's been writing his whole life. Like,
Cancer's a very emotional illness, and we all have different ways of dealing with that emotional side, and for some of us that means making sure that there's always a friend or a family member around that gives you a hug or makes you dinner, or we all have different ways or visual art. For me, that emotion just came out on paper, and it surprised me, and basically I was just taking raw thoughts, raw feelings, and journaling and writing about it. And when I started a journal entry, I had no idea how it was going to, besides the beginning, I had no idea what the beginning, the middle, and the ending would end up being. It's just put it on paper, let it go. Yeah.
and then fast forward a little bit, I just
Yeah.
want to touch on, so you start writing, you're going through the cancer experience, you have, like you said, all this kind of built up stuff, you're getting it, truth on the page, and then you join a men's group with Art for Recovery.
Right.
Do you want to talk about what that was like for you?
Sure, yeah. Well, early on, I mean, it's a lot to handle. I'll never forget that. It's definitely a lot for me to handle. Am I going to end up just like the other family members? How do I navigate through this whole process? And so UCSF provided me with a therapist, and I met with my therapist online once a week, and she recommended that I join in this men's group and see if it's something that means something to me, or I feel can relate or connect with. So I did. I had no idea, didn't know anything about the men's cancer group, and what was wonderful about it is the more time I spent with the group, the more comfortable I felt, because here were 8, 10, 12 other men willing to talk about their experiences and express their feelings, and we did it in a beautiful way through writing, which was my interest at the time, and music, and both of them are emotionally very appealing to me, and and actually early on I remember I was asked to think of a song that was that really struck with me personally, and it was Here Comes the Sun. Sorry. In the song, Here Comes the Sun, there's a line, "Little darling, it's been a long, long, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been clear." Well, first time I heard that song was when I was up in New England skiing, because my mom didn't want me to be around when she was going through her breast cancer surgery, and the song came out at the same time, and to me, Here Comes the Sun is easily relatable to the cancer journey, because during your phase when you're going through treatment, it's a long, long, lonely winter, and it seems like years since it's been clear, and so the sun's coming out when you know that you're going to be okay. And so I remember Ned asked, what's the song that you would like to introduce the group to that you really feel a connection to? And still, to this day, when I hear that song, it brings back those thoughts. Yeah.
How is it for you sharing your type of cancer, breast cancer, and with people, with other men specifically?
That's breast cancer is a little different. It's very easy to talk to other men about prostate cancer, because so many men in their 60s, 70s have gone through prostate cancer treatment of one degree or another. I've actually never met face-to-face another man who's had breast cancer. And so my discussions are more an online conversation. The difficult part in regards for the breast cancer, that's very different. Women know this as well, obviously, but for me is like knowing that I always will have to go to the beach with a shirt on, and I can't just jump in the water or sit out on the sand with my shirt off. And so it's something you're more conscious of. Prostate cancers, you don't think about it because you don't see it.
Do you feel represented? Like, I'm just thinking of the month of October. Everything's pink. You got the breast cancer marches. It's all about decorated bras. And
Yeah.
as a man,
Yeah.
how is that for you? Do you feel like you have a voice in that?
No, not really, but I wish, this is something that I learned recently, and I wish I knew a while ago, is that, and I'm not a scientist, so don't quote me on this, but my understanding is that if you're either have the BRCA gene or HR2 positive gene, a mother can, that gene can also be exist in their son, and the odds of their son having breast cancer go from 1 in 1,000 down to 1 in 80. And men do not know this. They do not know this at all. And doctors, your regular PCP, needs to take a look at this and say, okay, wait a minute, your mom was diagnosed with breast cancer. We need to get you in for a mammogram. So most of the men that, there's a family history as far as I understand, but there's also environmental is the other one. So like I say, I'm not a scientist.
Right, we won't hold you to it.
All right.
Is there anything that you feel like, before we move on from the men's group, that you feel like other men should know, who maybe somebody is newly diagnosed with cancer, or they've had cancer for a bunch of years and they've just been in their own little silo, that you would want them to know about joining a group of men and talking about it or processing it?
Yeah, it's too much to try to keep the stiff upper lip and hold it all in. It's like men are taught never to cry, or not show their emotion at work. It shows weakness. This is different. This is about trying to learn from others who've gone through the same or similar experiences, and what are they doing to navigate this, to learn from it, to move forward? Is it and I highly recommend joining a men's group, because you just can't do this alone. And if a man, I don't know if this is the best analogy, but if one is an alcoholic, you go to AA and feel very comfortable talking to other men about AA and drinking, yet men should not be isolated when it comes to going through the cancer experience, the cancer stressors. Join a men's group and express your thoughts and learn from others.
Mark, how has, this is a really big question, but
Yeah.
how has cancer changed you as a person? Maybe your priorities or how you live your life. I know you experienced your family going through cancer, but then it hit you.
Right.
So
right.
How did that
So,
change you?
How has cancer changed me? Well, I've thought about this quite a bit, and probably not the answer that, or the experience that most would express. I feel it's the best thing that ever happened to me. And the reason I say it's the best thing that ever happened to me is because I learned the value of waking up in the morning, and looking at the world with a different set of eyes. I learned that one needs to take a look at your priorities in life, and relaxation, diet, exercise, friends, family, feeling really connected with people when you're with them, and in the moment, not just, I think I'm going to be looking at my text that just came across my phone, but being right with people at that moment, because I've been given a gift, and that gift is to learn from all of this and take my experiences and help others who are going through this journey. And I would not be the person I am today if I didn't have cancer. Which probably most people would not wish upon themselves.
I'm thinking about your writing, and I read those journal entries again that you emailed Eli.
Right.
Really heavy stuff. You've had to change a lot of things in your life in a not very long period of time.
Right.
Do you have like any of your writing pieces that you've created that are like particularly meaningful to you?
Oh yeah, there's. I've written over 150 journal entries. I appreciate all of them, and once in a while I go back and I read some of them, and think, wow, I forgot about that time. The two of them that really I feel the most connected with or reminisce about, one of them is called Ringing the Bell, which is the moment when I had 15 breast radiation treatments, a month break, and then 28 prostate radiation treatments. And I was on 3 different meds at the same time, 2 for the prostate, 1 for the breast, and my body didn't know who I was. And so there was that moment when I was receiving that last radiation treatment where I started thinking about everyone in my family that I'd lost. And there's this ceremony when you finally have your last radiation treatment, there's a special ceremony where you go out into the hallway and the support staff is out there with you, and you get to ring that bell as loud as you want to. And I remember I had a big smile on my face, and so I journaled about that day and what it meant to make it there. The other one is the shortest journal entry I have, and I think it's called This Is My Heaven. And I was in Hawaii, and I had wonderful friends who let me stay at their guest house, and they were pretty convinced that it was a matter of time, not very long, before I was going into hospice care. And I was feeling fairly weak, and there was a morning where we had a rare tropical storm the night before, and I woke up in the morning and all the flowers had There's beautiful flowers in Hawaii, hibiscus with multiple colors, and they all had this incredible, beautiful mist. And I looked out over the ocean, and the light was amazing. There were these monarch butterflies and monarch caterpillars, and I think it was only maybe 2 paragraphs, but what I remember is I don't think heaven is this beautiful as the moment that I experienced, and maybe this is my heaven right now. So it was the one time during my cancer journey where I think I was ready and accepting, if that was my fate, that there couldn't be a more beautiful place to be at this moment.
That was incredibly healing, just that whole experience.
Yeah, I think I have maybe you have a couple of photographs from that day. That was a memorable day. Yeah.
Do you have that piece, My Heaven? I feel like you sent that to me recently.
I think I did.
Yeah, that was the most recent one I just sent maybe a few days ago.
Yeah, the one with the 4 pictures of the flowers.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have that.
Yeah.
We could have you actually read it if you want.
Would
you want to?
Sure.
I mean, we have all the pieces. Do you have it pulled up on your laptop?
I have it on my phone.
Oh, do you want to read from your phone?
Sure.
Well,
Sure, my phone's in the other room.
Oh yeah, we hid it from you.
Yeah. No,
We'll just
but
kick that.
I don't. I might get a little emotional on this one.
You're allowed.
I remember Kathleen Schwartz was a palliative care nurse at one point, and when I first went over to Hawaii with Rebecca, she made us both promise that I would not drive the cars.
Where did you put your phone, Mark?
Oh, I put it. It's next to your headphones.
Oh, okay.
In
And
your
then-
office.
It was only about, I don't know, 10 days after I wrote this, did that journal entry, where what I did was I would go on a walk every day with Rebecca. We'd do this walk around. It was about a 2-mile loop.
And Rebecca is your ex-wife, is that right?
My ex-girlfriend.
Ex-girlfriend.
Yeah. And so, for 9 years. And so, we walked about halfway around this loop, and I couldn't go any further. And so she went back to get the car, and I sat down on the grass on the side of the road, and when she came back, I couldn't get up, and she had to pick me up and put me in the car. So that was the point where yeah, okay, so let's see. Let's just go.
Ready whenever you are.
Okay. Let's see. This is my shortest journal entry from April 16th, 2024. And interestingly, it was a point where everyone thought, including myself, that I was probably close to hospice care. And what happened was I woke up that morning. There was a tropical rainstorm the night before, and the birds were singing. There was beautiful dew and mist and all the flowers, and there was something magical about it. And I sat there on the lanai, and I took out my computer, and I took out my computer and I just wrote my immediate thoughts, and it's called This Is My Heaven. It's 7 a.m. and I'm taking in the morning light, sounds and smells. I'm relaxing at a serene Hawaiian estate overlooking the Pacific. My first thought while gazing at my surroundings, I'm not sure if heaven is this beautiful and perfect. The early morning light greets the flowers, monarch butterflies, and the morning dew after a gentle evening rain. And to the Pacific Ocean with all of its blue grandeur. The gentle sounds of flowing water, birds chirping in the distance, and vibrant new yellow flowers were all energized by the rainwater. Maybe I've died, and maybe this is my heaven. Thanks.
Mark, can I ask you what the emotion is that comes up when you read that?
Yeah, well, a lot of emotions come up. One of them is realizing how close I really was probably to going into hospice care, and on the exact opposite side of all of that is to be in a location that was so spiritually and emotionally restorative that I was so wrapped up in that particular moment that I was happy and satisfied in knowing that if this was the end and this is my heaven, it doesn't get any more beautiful than that morning when I woke up, took a look at the flowers, the monarch butterflies, the beautiful sky. What more could one ask for?
Mark, what would you want, like, the general public, who's maybe someone who's never experienced cancer for themselves or even in their family, what do you feel like you want them to know about the cancer experience?
Well, I think I have a very different perspective than anyone else because it was rampant in my family. But what I would want them to know is, number one, more than anything, you can't do this journey by yourself. You have to have a health advocate, and you have to know that there's people out there that love you and support you and are praying for you, and it makes a world of difference. Knowing that people care, and just talk to them if you are going through cancer. It's friends, family, some of them are afraid to open up the subject, but they'd love to help, and there's just have the conversation.
Is there anything else that we didn't touch on today that you feel like you really want to say? I know we touched on a lot.
Whoa, no, there's a lot I can. Yeah, I would say, for me personally, the most important thing is that going through the cancer journey is a lot more than just making an appointment receiving surgery, treatment, radiation, whatever it might be, it's, if you truly want to have the best outcome possible, one needs to take a look at every aspect of your life. What can one do to reduce some stress in your life? Are there changes in your diet? Do you need to approach your mornings with gratitude, relaxation, meditation? It's time to just take a break and just find somewhere that you feel comfortable and find the things that help you heal with every aspect of your body, your mind, your spirit, your emotions, your family, the stress, because just receiving treatment alone is not 100%, in my opinion, curing the cancer. It's treating all aspects of mind, body, and spirit.
Mark, you are an incredible human being, and I'm really grateful you shared your story with us.
Thanks. I don't feel incredible. Thanks.
Yeah. If you want to look at the camera and say, my name is Mark, and I am Art for Recovery, we can.
Sure, I can do it again. My name is Mark, and I am Art for Recovery. All right.
You did it!
Thanks.